Hey everybody, welcome to Executive Zone. My name is Edwin Zapata. If it's your first time here, congratulations, where we talk about motivation, investing, and personal development. If there's something you like, make sure you let us know by hitting the like or leave a comment and let me know if there's something you want to talk about. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure that you hit the subscribe button. We got a lot to cover today. It's almost the end of the year. We are this close to New Year's, and that's big news for the investment market, for crypto, for Forex, and for stocks, but we're going to just be talking about crypto. So we're going to acknowledge those of you that got started with us in our membership program that have wanted to learn a new skill, get ready for 2022, because again, New Year's is right there, right around the corner. So congratulations to all of you that got started with us. If you want to get started on investing, of course, you can always search on YouTube or Google, or hit me a message in the description below and get started with us. We do have a free Telegram channel that you could take advantage of, where you can get free signals and alerts so you can start making profits right away. So without further ado, the reason that you're here. So we have a few things that we got to talk about. For those of you that are in the Ontario market, this is big news because in Ontario, Canada, those that use Binance, we were basically ready to leave at the end of this month. December 31st was the last day that we could be using Binance. But thankfully, I kept my fingers crossed, and also I'm a procrastinator, so it worked out in my favor that Binance, thankfully, is going to be compliant with the regulators here in Ontario, Canada. So if you have Binance and you're in Ontario, Canada, you're good. You can keep it. Now, if you want Binance and you're in Ontario, Canada, you can't make a new account just yet. You'll probably have to wait till January 1st or January 2nd or sometime in January. I will share all of these articles in the description below, but if you are with Binance, you're good. You don't have to withdraw your account by December 31st. You can leave it as is, keep trading, keep enjoying Binance. It's really good. And if you'd like to use Binance, like I said, you're going to have to wait until January or until they announce it, because as of right now, you cannot make a new account. If you'd like to start Binance and you're somewhere else other than Ontario, or want to be ready for it and you're in Ontario, I do have an affiliate link for you below that you can use where you get a percentage off on commissions. You might as well do it. You benefit and the channel benefits, and we can keep things going. All right, so I hope you enjoy that. If you need help, make sure you DM me on Instagram. Instagram will be below in the description. Okay, so we'll put that aside. That's awesome news. Now, I want to point something out before we move on to why you're here. The fact that Binance, a crypto exchange, is compliant with regulators in Ontario, Canada, is positive news. In one of my previous videos, I was talking about how Canada, along with US, Russia, China, and many other countries, have been positioning themselves for 2022 to have their own CBDC, their own central bank digital currency, because they want their own stable coin tied to the Canadian dollar, the American dollar, the I forgot what it is in Russia, and the Chinese money, Chinese yuan. Hopefully I said that right. If I butchered it, let me know in the comments. Make sure you roast me on that one. So all of these countries want their own currency-backed stable coin so that they can tie into the cryptocurrency market. Some of them don't want to tie into the same cryptocurrency market, and they want to make their own. Good luck with that. Look at where we are now, right? That's how we got here. So this is good news, because if they're being compliant, why would regulators allow a currency exchange for a Ponzi scheme? And this is why you're here. This is what we're here to talk about, the Ponzi scheme comment. So this is awesome news for me. And I'm not saying that it's a Ponzi scheme. I'm saying it's awesome news because it's FUD. The fact that they're trying to scare you out, that this news is coming out right before the end of the year, when they're doing massive sell-offs because of contracts expiring and all these things in the market, they're cashing out so that you have losses, and they got to declare all their stuff for taxes next year, and so many other things. We won't get into it, but that's like the simplest explanation. You have this guy, Mr. Robert McCulley, that he's an associate member of the Faculty of History at University of Oxford. So I thought, okay, let's look this guy up. Okay, So I looked him up. I came across this Dr. Robert McCauley, and I thought to myself, this can't be the right guy. This would make as much sense as Bill Gates, Mr. Tech Giant, talking about you know, and medicines and people's health. That's how much sense it would make. So I had a feeling that I probably had the wrong guy, and I did. So that's not the guy. So yes, I threw that in there. That's a different conversation. We're not here to talk about that because we're not trying to get censored because they don't want to talk about that. So that is the wrong guy. That was a joke. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so that was a dry joke. So this McCully guy, okay, you can look him up, but I just wanted to share this article that talks about him because he's talking about Bitcoin being a Ponzi scheme and how, all this money goes to people that are mining Bitcoin and all the money just kind of like disappears, and how like over $20 billion, where is that? Over $20 billion has gone into miners for Bitcoin. Over here, they told NBC approximately 20 billion has been spent on mining to date, and it is gone. I want to put something into perspective here. Let's give a hypothetical, okay? Because he's saying that Bitcoin has no value and they're still waiting to see its use. In other words, to see that it only has value once you sell it, and you can't really use it until it's sold. And when you sell it, you're selling it for the dollar. So your real use is the dollar, not Bitcoin. But take this in. You have the dollar, and the dollar used to be backed by precious metals, gold and silver. So it actually had a value. Then they took it off of that in 1933. I don't remember what the year was. Doesn't matter. Who cares? That's all old news. They took it off the dollar, and now the dollar is backed by our labor, or the Americans' labor. I'm in Canada, but the point is still the same. Is backed by the labor of the people, and the U.S. dollar is measured up to like barrels of oil. So that's why they always mention that. And so much more. Again, we won't get too deep into stuff. I'm just trying to give like quick conversation about it. So it's tied into that. So it really has no value. It's just a piece of paper that says numbers on it, and we give it that value. In the system, it's actually already, and it's always been, its own digital currency. When you go to the bank and you ask for a loan, what do? They input numbers in the computer, and you get approved for X amount of digital numbers. And then if you want to cash out, they say, okay, then we will print you receipts. These receipts indicate that you can spend this somewhere, and they will exchange it for the digital numbers in the computer. And you go out and you have debts. You go out, you have debts, businesses have debts, countries have debts. And when they can't pay the debt back, what does the Federal Reserve do? They say, no problem. We're just going to print more to loan you more so that you can loan it to the people that can't pay the debts. So you have people that you loan money to, and they can't pay it, which means that you can't pay your loan back as a bank, as a country. So you need more money. So you ask for another loan, and they loan it to you so that you can loan it back out, so that you can create more jobs, so that people can make money, so that they can pay back the money that they could. Like, do you get what I'm saying? And it's really paper that's not backed by anything. That's a Ponzi scheme. That's the biggest Ponzi scheme ever in the history, because it's not backed by anything. And he's saying that crypto, or Bitcoin, he's referring to Bitcoin, which has a finite, meaning there can only be minted a certain amount of Bitcoin ever. That's it. Once they're all mined, that's it. And you cannot print more. And as of right now, I'll even show you. I've shown this before in one of my other videos. I actually use, and this is not the only card that's out there. I use what's called ShakePay. Okay, I'll leave a link in the description below. It's for Canadians. You can e-transfer into the account, and you can exchange it to Bitcoin or Ethereum, and you can spend the card straight from there, tap from your phone, Apple or Android. So as of today, as of right now, Bitcoin does have intrinsic value. You can go to places, you can spend it, And if you go to a Bitcoin ATM, you can go there and you can print out a wallet that has so much Bitcoin in it, whatever you put, $100, $50, 1,000, and it'll say that this barcode has this wallet address and it's worth 0.00 whatever Satoshis or whatever fractions of a Bitcoin or Ethereum or Shiba for those of you that like that. But the point is, we're talking about Bitcoin. So this piece of paper, this receipt gives you access to Bitcoin. And we all know the story of the guy that bought pizzas for 2 Bitcoin. You can go to Tesla and you can buy Tesla cars with Bitcoin. Some places will accept Shiba Inu or Dogecoin as payment for Ferraris, Lamborghinis, tickets, theater, whatever. So for this guy to call it a Ponzi scheme doesn't make any sense. Because here, don't worry, I took the liberty of going to Google for you, and here's a definition of a Ponzi scheme. So check it out. Ponzi scheme, a form of fraud which belief in success of a non-existent enterprise is fostered by the payment of quick returns to the first investors from money invested by later investors. So let's say if I were to start this and I get you to invest, then I make money. Then I get other people to invest. Their money pays you and it pays me. And the chain continues. With Bitcoin, you mine it, you get Bitcoin, you have Bitcoin. If you're going to stake, it's because you're putting your Bitcoin and it's staking, you're getting interest because that money is being used elsewhere. So where is this Ponzi scheme? In the example of the real world, the dollar, you have imaginary money. It's printed. It's loaned out at interest. So like, as an example, let me just use these books as an example. Let's just say that this is currency. So, which, by the way, this is the copy of my book, Your Next Step, New Tools for Financial Abundance Now. Make sure you check it out on Amazon bestseller. Let's say I just have these two. This is $1, $2. I just printed it. This is the only currency in the world. And I loan it out to you. Okay, so now this is yours. And I say to you, I will loan you $2. But you got to pay me back $3. You'll say, no problem. You go out, you do what we agreed upon. Now it's time for you to pay the bill. So you're going to come to me and say, hey, Edwin, here's the 2, but I owe you 3. I don't have 3. Well, of course you don't, because I only made 2. So guess what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to ask for a bigger loan. So now I'm going to print 6. You paid me back 2. Thank you. I'm going to make 6. And I'm going to now loan you 6. Before I charge you interest of 1, now I'm going to charge you an interest of 2 or maybe 3. You go, you come back, same thing. I increase the limit. I increase the limit. I increase the limit. So how is Bitcoin a Ponzi scheme? Let's take it a step further. Over here. I did the research for you, okay? Where is it? It's this one. Where was it? I had it ready for you guys. Yeah, this one. How do Ponzi schemes make money? Understanding Ponzi schemes. This is the simplest definitions I found to keep it simple. Companies that engage in a Ponzi scheme focus all of their energy into attracting new clients to make investments. This new income is used to pay original investors, like I was saying, their returns, marked as profits from a legitimate transaction. So in the transaction, it's marked as a legitimate transaction, and that's like where the profit is. That sounds just like the bank. I don't know if you knew this. The bank has the ability to loan out $10 for every $1 you put in there. So if I go to the bank and I give them $1, let me plug myself. I give the bank $1, one physical dollar. They can go and loan out 10 to your neighbor at interest. They're going to charge that person 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 21% interest of money that they never had. They're going to make the profit. on $10 that never existed, and they're going to pay me 0.05% interest for keeping my money there, because they're paying me for letting them loan out money on interest, and then I'm in debt and I have to pay money, but then they can't pay, so then the debt ceiling gets, you get what I'm saying? I hope by now you get the idea. If you're still confused, let me know in the comments. But in summary, this guy here is talking about Bitcoin being a Ponzi scheme. Keep that in mind. He's talking about it being a Ponzi scheme. Why would a Canadian regulatory body allow a Ponzi scheme to operate? Why would they allow a Ponzi scheme to operate with its citizens? See, up until now, there were some things that they weren't compliant with, and they fixed it to be compliant. So Bitcoin is less of a Ponzi scheme than the actual dollar and all the currencies tied to it, which is all of them. Because right now you can go out and spend it, so it has real use. There's a finite amount. You can't print out more. And it is what it is. So this Ponzi scheme news to me is great news, because it's not a Ponzi scheme. And if this crashes, trust me, the dollar's crashing with it. So you're telling me that the country of El Salvador is using a Ponzi scheme as its local currency? Come on, that doesn't make any sense. So I hope this was informative. Let me know if you still think crypto is a Ponzi scheme. Hey, could there be a potential bubble for a little bit? Sure. But I don't believe that it's going anywhere. If anything, this technology is going to continue to grow. And I've said this before in some of my previous talks, where we are right now with cryptocurrency, we have barely even touched the surface of what this technology can do. The amount of things that this technology can do for our lives, for our future, for our kids, for the next generations, we haven't even scratched the surface. So with all that being said, make sure that you find a way to get involved with cryptocurrency. It would cost you more not to get involved. If all you have is $50, $100, you might as well start. Just put your money in. It's worth the risk. $50 of crypto is like going to McDonald's, 5 to 10 times, depending on how big your meals are. If you're somebody like me, it's like going to McDonald's twice, because I like to get a super ultra Big Mac combo. No, this is not a paid promo for McDonald's. And if you guys are watching this, you should definitely throw me some change, because I just plugged you in. And yeah, so let me know in the comments. Hopefully that was helpful. If you still think it's a Ponzi scheme, no problem. Just leave the comments down below. Make sure you're following me on Instagram, on TikTok. Reach out anytime. If I don't see you until next year, Happy New Year. Stay safe, be blessed. And until next time, my name is Edwin Zapata. This is Executive Zone. Don't forget to subscribe.